Hey everyone, this is Arbalo, and for this video, we're going to talk about how do we implement a class into a computer program. But before that, let me just brought up the terms that we mentioned in our previous video, which is for in this case property. Now, property is also called attribute in object-oriented programming principles. Now, when I say attribute or property, it's just basically a variable that is associated with an object. And another thing that we mentioned, or another term that we mentioned in our previous video is behavior, or commands or requests. So when we say behavior, another synonymous term for that in programming, in OOP programming, is method. So method naman, on the other hand, is similar to a function. Now, if you don't, wait. Pag sinabing method is similar to a function, but ito yung catch nyo, it is defined within the context of a class. Okay. Now, for those not familiar with what is a function, let me just recap kung ano yung function. Function is just simply a reusable block of code. When we say reusable, it's nagagamit mo ulit the code that performs a specific task. Now, let me give you an example of that. So let's say, for example, in this line, from line 1 to 4, we basically define a function right here that it's a calculate circle na area. And right, as you can see right here, it accepts a radius na yung data type is double, and it returns also a double na return value. And this is the instructions. Basically, it just calculates the as literally speaking, it calculates the area of the circle based on the value na dito sa radius. And this lines 1 to 4, we can reuse this again in our program as many times as we want. So we can actually see that in line 8, where we used the function we defined, but let's say yung value ng radius dito is 8, di ba? As you can see in line 7. And when we print, we can actually see the output of this. But if you can see also at line 12, again, we reused the calculate circle area na function. So once the calculate circle area has been called or ginamit siya, it will jump to line 1, and kung ano yung values na pinasa, let's say for example 6 yung value na pinasa, ay yung value ng radius. So calculate circle will accept a value of 6, and once it jumps back to line 1, so simply and line 3, pi, yung value ng pi is 3.14, radius is 6 and 6. So you do the math, and that will be the value of the area variable dito sa line 12. So yun, that's basically what a function is. Now let's break it down, itong function na to. The first one is the inputs, or we also refer to this as parameters, or what are the variables that na kailangan niya, in the input ng mga variables na kailangan niya. The second is the data type of the return value. And the third one is, syempre, since this one returns a double na return value, we have to also include a return statement sa loob ng function na to. So as you can see in line 3. So that's how you create a function. Or rather, those are the components in defining a function. Aside from the name ng function, Now, also, no, we can also create a function that doesn't accept an input or doesn't have a parameter, or pwede rin it doesn't return anything. So yan, in this case, this function simply just prints hello world. Yan lang. Okay? And of course, since this function doesn't return, or it doesn't have a return statement na uh, inside the body, so we have to indicate void na keyword. Void meaning wala siyang i-return na value. Itong function na to. So yan, that's just a recap of what a function is. Now, let's go back to our concepts now. So basically, in OOP na programming, no, when we say classes, these are just a bunch of variables and functions. Yun lang, no, just to simplify lang. But if the variable is within the class, na define siya sa loob ng class, we call it as attributes. But if the function is now inside or within the class, we now call that function specifically as methods. So yun. So I hope that you have fully understand about attributes and methods. And now I'm going to show you how to create a class into code. Okay, so now we're at this code which I created dito sa dartpad, no? And I'm just going to show you in a glimpse of our code. Kasi once I show this in the slide, baka malito kayo. But yeah, everything, these are the entire codes natin. And it ends at line 24. Now, if we're going to run this program, it's going to give us an output of this Toyota race starting and moving forward. Now, actually, the reason we have this output is because of this main function. And if we're going to delete this one, it will cause an error kasi yun nga. Just like in C language or in Java, if we're going to run a program, we have to make sure that it has a main function or main method sa Java, no? Public static void main. Now, without main function, what our code right here is just basically our class definition. Yan lang. Okay? So, yan, I already show you what the output of this program pag i-run natin siya. And we're going to break it down, each line of code. So, before that, let me just emphasize this late nga keyword. Kasi this is only present in, if I'm not mistaken, sa Dart language. No? Some languages don't have this keyword, but in Dart, we have this. Now, ibig sabihin lang naman itong late keyword is that we add this so that we can declare a variable without setting its initial value. Kasi sa Dart, we are not allowed to declare or define a variable na walang value. Now, of course, if since that is our main goal, we just have to define lang muna without giving it a value in order for us to bypass that. So that's why we add a late na keyword right here. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so basically, line 1, when you're going to create a program, you have to first enter this class na keyword. And after that, the name of the class. In this case, car. And then, of course, open close parenthesis. And then, the first thing that you're going to define, which is actually in line 3 or line 2, depending na lang. This is a comment, by the way, sa line 2. Comment yan. But in line 3, in line 4, these are what we call as the attributes natin. And as I mentioned, attributes are variables. So, just like in C language, when we're going to create a variable, we have to emphasize, or specify kung ano yung data type niya. Is it an integer? Is it a double? Is it a float? Is it a string? Then, followed by the name of the variable or attribute. So, yun. Then, semicolon. And then, once we have defined our attributes, since dalawa lang yung natin, attributes natin, next is we're going to define the methods of this class. So, again, methods are just functions. So, in this example natin, the class definition, we have two functions. We have the start. It doesn't return anything, but it just simply prints whatever the value of this maker and model na attributes. So, it doesn't literally print the maker model is start. Actually, yung gagawin nito ni Dart is, since this is a variable or a attribute, kung ano yung value to, yun yung i-print niya. Okay? Not the literal, the dollar sign, tapos maker, no. Okay. I hope that this code makes sense, no? And as for line 11, the move na at method, it accepts a parameter. Isa lang yung parameter niya, na direction, tapos string. And this function just simply prints this string na moving and then yung value ng parameter na to. So, yan. Now, the next one is our main function, which basically, the first one is basically it creates a car object. Okay? When we create object, paras lang yan sa pag mag-create ka ng variable. You have to specify ano yung class car and then the name of that variable, which is could be anything, no? But I just put it my car. No? You can replace my car with anything. No? Basta variable name siya, no? And then equals to the name of the class followed by open close parenthesis and semicolon. Yun. This is how we create a object. Then next, this line 19 and 20, this is where we set the values of each attribute sa my car. So first, my car, okay, the name of our variable, followed by this period, this is a dot by the way, and then maker. Tapos equals to string na Toyota. Okay, by the way, this is single quote. No? You can actually use double quote instead of single quote, but in Dart, pwede ganito. So, yeah. And the third portion sa main function natin is line 22 and 23 just simply calls each method sa my car object natin. So, first, we have the my car, period, then start, then open close parenthesis. So, whatever is the instruction of this function na naka-define sa class natin, it will execute all the instructions there. Going back, ito. Okay? Once tinawag natin yung start na method, it will just simply execute this line 8 lang. And then, same also with the move na function or method. Now, let's further trace this program, no? Ano bang nangyayari behind the scenes for every line right here sa main function natin? First, sa line 17, okay, the moment na this line of code is executed, it creates a my car, an car object, but yung mga attributes niya is wala pang value. Okay, so kaya question mark yung nilagay ko dito, meaning wala pang value itong dalawang attributes na to. And then, right here sa line 19, once this line of code is executed, since equals, no, and equals in programming means assignment na operator, meaning whatever is the variable right here or attributes on the left side, yung value niya will be equal to the value sa right. So, that's why this time, the maker attribute natin has a value of Toyota kasi, of course, we assign a value. Equal, ano tayo ng equals assignment operator. And on line 20, ganun pa rin. Once we execute this line of code, line 20, it will just simply assign this raise string sa model na attribute. And now, my car object now has values attributes niya. Now, let's go to line 22. Once once this function start is tinawag, it will just jump to this function, and then as you can see in the print, kung ano yung value dito, the, maker, and model, ano yung value niya? Toyota. Ano yung value ng model? Race. So, yun yung ipiprint niya. Yung final output nito would be this one sa baba. Toyota race is starting. So, yun. For line 23, once we call this method, and we provide a string value na forward, so it will jump to the move na function natin, or method, and ano yung value na pinasa natin dito? String forward. So therefore, this direction right here, this variable dito na direction, yung value niya is forward. And once we execute this lines of code sa loob ng function na to, we'll just print moving and then forward, kasi yun yung value dito. So that's why this is the output na makikita mo. And yun. So I hope that this time you have understood what's going on with exactly how is this this main function work. Again, just to summarize, going back to our previous slide, it was just first is we create a car object, then we set the values of the attributes sa object natin, and then we call each method sa car natin, sa object natin. Yun. Okay, so here's another example. Kung nabitin kayo with our car class definition, here's another class definition, this time dog. And ganun pa rin, we just use this late keyword and then followed by the attributes natin. Kung name, obviously, name, it should be a string yung data type niya. So, and age, of course, int. So, yeah. And then for its methods, we have bark, which just accepts a stranger na parameter, and it just simply prints this one. So, ano yung value ng name na attribute and the stranger na parameter, yun yung ipiprint niya. And then we have also another one right here, fetch, and it's pretty much does the same thing. So yeah, if we're going to create a main function that simply does the same thing kanina, we create a dog class, a dog object. We initialize its variables, and then we call each of its methods. So, ganun lang. Okay. And that's pretty much it with this lesson natin about classes and how we create classes into code. So, I hope that you've learned something from this video. And if there's anything that's not clear sa video, let me know in the comments down below. Just comment your questions and I'll answer it. So that would be all for this video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next videos. Bye.